Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Ask Coach Marie. I'm Marie O'Neill, founder of Padma Life Coaching and your host on this series. This is a place where you ask a question and I give my unique opinion as a life renewal coach, astrologer, and past life regression facilitator. Please know that I am not a therapist and I will never tell you what you must do. Each week on Fridays, a new video is released with me answering 2 questions from the viewers. In addition to the 2 questions, I talk about various other life renewal topics. Let's get started with the questions for this week. The first question comes from Ben, who is in Martinez, California. Ben writes, I'm 28 years old and would like to start dating, but don't have a clue as to how to start. My issue is that I'm an introvert, basically a nerd, and I don't know how to approach a female. Can you give me a few tips? Thank you for asking that question, Ben. And yes, I'd be happy to give you a few tips on this. I know that the anxiety is probably pretty high when it comes to going out and socializing and meeting people. But that is something that it would be good if you could actually get out, even if you have one friend who you can go out with, someone who you trust. Because being an introvert, it's challenging to actually talk to someone even when you're not an introvert sometimes. And when you're an introvert, then you might need an icebreaker to help you start conversations. And if you have a friend with you, your friend can actually be the icebreaker. And that would be of benefit. Because, you can start dating through the online apps. And at some point, though, you will still need to meet the female. Now, this is one of the other suggestions that I have for you is to go to one of the finishing groups. When I say finishing groups, I'm talking about groups such as Barbizon. I believe it's pronounced Barbizon. It's where you go to learn how to eat, how to walk, how to dress, and how to do those things to socialize, where you actually have to sit and have a conversation. I've known a few people who've gone to those types of groups and they have benefited. The information they still use. And that is a good way to build your confidence, because that's something that you want to do, is build your confidence. Another thing is ask a friend to invite you to an event, maybe that they're hosting a party or something where you feel comfortable at this person's home or at the particular location. Because what you want to do is be as comfortable as you can so that you can reduce your level of anxiety. And when I say be as comfortable as you can, I mean an environment away from your home. So that is something that you can do. There are, of course, online places that you can go to learn about socializing. My ideas are mostly in person because you are going to have to meet this person. And that is paramount if you're going to be dating. The other thing is, what it is you like, what it is you like to do. You want to find groups that are doing what it is you like to do. If you like to ski, for example, you go to a ski group. If you like playing chess or playing games or whatever it is you like to do, there are organizations out here you can utilize. So I hope that gives you some information on what you can do to socialize and meet girls. I know that there are a lot of girls out here who would love to meet you. So go ahead and get going. All right, send me a note either via email or put a comment below letting me know how you got on. All right, our topic for today is cultivating habits. We all have habits. And so we sometimes want to cultivate the good habits. Well, most of the time we want to cultivate the good habits and also shift the ones that are not so good. There's a way to actually do this. And one thing is, of course, you have to know what the habit is that you want to implement, and you have to come up with a plan. And the plan needs to involve consistency. If you want to cultivate the habit of exercise, then you have to come up with an exercise plan that you're willing to stick with. If it's an eating plan, then you have to do that too. But in addition to coming up with the timeline of actually implementing the plan and starting it, you need support. You need outside support to cultivate good plans. You need to actually work on how you think about what it is you want to cultivate. Sometimes we start plans and we fall off the wagon, so to speak, because we feel, oh my goodness, this is never going to work, or this is hard, or something negative. That needs to be shifted to a positive affirmation. And the way to do that is to come up with a plan that you can implement when the negative talk starts. Come up with this plan beforehand. So, for example, if you want to eat well, and a lot of people do, you start off with coming up with ways you can talk to yourself about eating well when you don't feel like it. You have someone you can maybe call and talk to when you aren't feeling as though you want to eat well. So it's being proactive so that you're setting yourself up for success. With habits that you want to cultivate, you also need to be around people who have those habits so that it gives you motivation to keep going. Some habits are easier to implement and cultivate than others. So if you're around people who are doing what it is you want to do, that's going to just make it so much easier. Doesn't mean that you're stop being around people who do not have those habits at all, but you want to add new people to your social circle. Cultivating good habits is something, it's an exercise, and it's a muscle that has to be built. A lot of times people will start things and quit because it gets hard. And just because something gets hard does not mean it's not beneficial for you. When you're going to school, you have to cultivate the habit of studying. Well, what do you do to do that? You have to put a plan in place. I'm going to study so many hours a day or so many hours a week. I'm going to turn off the TV, and you actually do it. It may be difficult initially to do, but it will benefit you in the long run. And you build self-esteem, and your value in yourself increases. And all of this is important. And so when something comes along bigger, that a habit that you need to cultivate, it'll be easier for you to do it because you've already built the muscle of knowing how to cultivate good habits. All right, let's get going with the last question for today. Our last question comes from Thea, who is in Tallahassee, Florida. Thea writes, I've been wanting to change a few of my habits for years and haven't found the courage to take the first step. One of my habits is procrastination. Any thoughts on how to begin? Very good question, Thea. With procrastination, there's usually an underlying reason for the procrastination. If there is a particular area of your life that you utilize procrastination, then you'll need to analyze that area or contemplate that area. For example, some people procrastinate when it comes to studying or taking tests. Some people procrastinate when it comes to cleaning the house. Some people procrastinate when it comes to calling someone or filling out applications. There's so many ways that we can procrastinate, but you do need to look at why. That's the first thing. And if you're procrastinating because there is a fear of something, maybe there's a fear of failure or fear that you're going to succeed, and what happens if you succeed, maybe you'll end up, you feel as though your life will fall apart, Or maybe you're procrastinating because you're just not motivated. Maybe it's something that you just don't want to do, and therefore you're procrastinating on it. I used to be like that. So you want to find out why, and you want to come up with a plan for how you're going to navigate this and get around the procrastination. One of the things that you can do, and I've done this with friends who are procrastinating, I've actually said, okay, meet me here at this coffee shop or at this library, and I'm going to sit there and do my work, and you can do your work. They agree to it, they come, they can't procrastinate anymore because they are sitting there and the project or whatever it is they're working on is right there and they need to do it. What I'm saying is you can enlist the help of a friend. Ask a friend to meet you somewhere or come to your house and sit there while you actually do this particular project or whatever it is you're procrastinating on. And ask yourself, what is the payoff of procrastination? Is it worth it? Some people do like to procrastinate because they get that energy to complete a task at the last minute. And sometimes the task is just done superbly because they've waited till the last minute. And if that's the case, then you don't need to worry about procrastination. You're utilizing it to motivate yourself to get things done. But I doubt that that is what you are talking about. So anyway, write me a note or put a comment below letting me know how you got on with procrastination. I sure hope that this information is of benefit to you. We have come to the end of the session for today. Thank you. Thank you all for tuning in to my YouTube channel. I do appreciate it. Please be sure to like and subscribe so that the algorithms can pick up the videos and send them off to other people who the videos might be of benefit to. If you'd like to learn more about me and my services, please check out my website, padmalifecoaching.com. If you'd like to learn more about me, check out my book, And the Lotus Opened, a Memoir. You can find that book at any of the online bookstores, Barnes & Noble, 8 Books, Amazon Books, Walmart, Target. So yes, check out the book. I talk about the issues that I've had in life and how I've actually worked through those issues in hopes that reading my story will benefit you. I am also hosting a virtual healing retreat on April 29th and April 30th. It's going to be online through Eventbrite. You can find the information on eventbrite.com by going to Padma Life Coaching, checking out the dates. It is really a fantastic event, and it's really about the soul and healing yourself from the soul level. I look forward to seeing you back here next week. Please send your questions to padmacoach@icloud.com. That's padmacoach@icloud.com. Bye-bye.